हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू द नेक्स्ट वीडियो इन माय डेटा साइंस लर्निंग सीरीज। आज के सेशन में काफ़ी मज़ा आने वाला है क्योंकि टुडे वी विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट मैटप्लॉटलिब, विच इज़ अ पाइथन लाइब्रेरी दैट अलाउस अस टू क्रिएट स्टनिंग विजुअलाइजेशन फ्रॉम द डेटा। जैसा कि आप सबको पता ही है कि इन टुडेज वर्ल्ड डेटा इज़ एवरीथिंग, बट जस्ट लुकिंग एट द डेटा इज़ मीनिंगलेस. So we need to understand that data, we need to find pattern in that data, we need to find relationship, and that's why Matplotlib comes into the picture. With Matplotlib, we can convert any raw data into beautiful charts, graphs, and plots. So let's start the world of data visualization with Matplotlib. So as always, I have created a notebook for this session for all of you and uploaded this notebook in my GitHub repository, जिसका कि लिंक आपको इस वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा. So now let's get started with what is Matplotlib and why we use Matplotlib for data visualization. तो सिंपल सा जैसा मैंने पहले बताया था कि Matplotlib is a very popular library for data visualization in Python which produces publication quality figures in variety of hard copy format. तो आपको कोई भी डेटा को विजुलाइज करना है and you have to save that data in any of the format that you can do via Matplotlib. And some of the advantages of using Matplotlib for data visualizations are like, it is highly customizable. There is a support for integration for various other libraries, including NumPy, Pandas, or SciPy. There is a support for various output formats, which means you can save your charts into PNG, PDF, or SVG formats. There is a very active community and extensive documentation available for Matplotlib, and it supports cross-platform compatibility. Alright, so now let's get started with the coding part. So the very first thing which we'll have to do is we'll have to install this library if not already installed, and this is the simple command which says pip install name of that library, which is Matplotlib. Once this is done, then this Matplotlib will be installed in your laptop environment. Then we can make use of this Matplotlib for our data visualization task. तो सबसे पहले, like as always, we'll have to import the installed library, which is says import Matplotlib as pyplot, and then give any name here. So let me run this, and now we'll start with the plotting part. तो सबसे पहले we'll start with the line plot. तो whenever we have to show any trends or progression, in those cases we use line plots. तो let's consider example कि x जो एक array है, the values inside x array is 1 2 3 4 5, and then the y values are 2 4 6 8 10. Now I have to show relationship between these two. So basically a trend कि x का value 1 है तो 2 है, 2 है तो 4 है. तो what is the trend between these two arrays which are there? So to do that, whatever the name which we have given, see here we have given plt, तो we'll have to write plt dot plot x and y. तो ये दोनों को हम लोग plot कर रहे हैं, and plot we usually use for line charts, and then we want to display this. Then I'll run this cell, and there you see कि ये सारा वैल्यू x का वैल्यू 1 से लेके 5 तक ऑटोमेटिकली यहाँ पे आ गया है, एंड देन y का वैल्यू 2 से लेके 10 तक. You can also see in the y-axis, and then this is the trends between, this is basically the trend between x and y charts. And now let's say you want to show the same data into scattered plot. So how do we do that? We'll keep the same data x and y, and then instead of plot which we had used here plot, now we'll use plt.scatter and then pass x and y values here, and then run this plt.show. So now you'll see instead of having this line chart, this has given us a scattered plot. तो स्कैटर प्लॉट तब यूज होता है जब हमें कोई आउटलायर्स को फाइंड आउट करना पड़ता है इन द गिवन डेटा सेट. सो लेट्स कंसीडर कि वन ऑफ द वैल्यूज ऑफ वाई हेयर इज 100, एंड नाउ इफ आई रन दिस, then you'll see कि all of these are coming here, and then we found कि there is one outlier in the given data set. So this is where scattered plot is very useful. Then moving on to the third type of plot, which is the bar plot. So whenever you have to show any categorical data, in those cases bar plots are mostly used. So let's consider the same data x equals to 1 to 5, y equals to 2 to 10, and then instead of plot scattered, now we'll use bar, and then pass both the values here, and then we'll click on plt.show. So now you see entire data set has been converted into this bar chart. And now let's see the another chart type, which is a histogram, which is basically used whenever we have to display the distribution of continuous variable. For example, let's consider that we have a data array and we are instantiating this data array from NumPy, where we are keeping some thousands of random numbers. and we want to see what is the data distribution of this particular array here. So before doing this, let me first show you the data which we have instantiated from numpy. So I'll run this cell, and there you see this array has data ranging from some digits, like from some are from 8, some are from -1, some are from -9. Now I want to see what is the distribution of data from this. So to do that, there is a simple command for that as well, which says that plt.hist and then pass your numpy array or any array, and then you basically write plt.show. So now if I see this data here you will see that this is the data distribution, that most of the data in this array are in from -1 to 1 range. So let's say in cases we want to kind of also increase the bins here. So currently I think around 10 bins are there in this particular cell. Now I want to increase this from 10 to maybe 30, and there you'll see the distribution now will be looking like some 30 different bins are there. So all of these are called as one bins, which are present in your histogram chart. Moving on to the next section, where we will be customizing the plots which we have generated. So here you'll see all these plots are automatically generated, where you have all these values in x-axis or y-axis automatically generated, and there are no legends present in your chart. But in cases where you want to kind of give the title, legend or label to your x-axis and y-axis, that also can be easily done via Matplotlib. So सबसे पहले we'll use the same data set x and y, where you have these are the values in the both of the arrays. We'll plot this line. So let's consider I want to give a label to my line chart. To do that, सबसे पहले simple चीज करना है, label equals to whatever the label you want to give, you can give there, and then write plt.legend, and then plt.show will remain as it is. So we'll run this cell, and there you see that line 1 has automatically come. Now let's consider कि you want to also show कि I want to basically provide a title to my chart. So you can simply write the title, and you can provide any title here. So maybe I'll give a sample line and run this cell. So now you'll see there is a title which has been given. Consider कि now you have to give maybe all the kind of labels to your x-axis and y-axis. So again you have a simple command plt dot x label, and then you can provide any label here to your x-axis. So maybe I'll give x-axis, and same way I can also give for my y-axis as well. So this will be y label, and I'll provide y-axis. So now if I run this, you see this label has been given here, this label has been given here. There is another thing in the same, where you want to change the fonts and the font sizes. So you can also use the same, maybe title I want in font size of 20, and I want the font name of Arial. Maybe x label ka I want the font size as 18, and maybe we'll keep the font name as same. Then now if I run this, so if you see this was the font size earlier, and now the font size has been changed to some 20 font size. Then let's say you want to, all these ticks which you are seeing 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5 till 5, and then 2 to 10 here, you want to change those values to your custom values. तो ये भी काफ़ी simple है. We'll simply write plt.plot, and then we can write plt.xticks, जहाँ पे कि कौन सा array होगा, and then what are the values which you want from this array to be changed. So earlier it was in x, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that I want to change to A, B, C, D, E, and here we were having all of these in digits. Now I want to change them into maybe basically all these English words. तो simple सा चीज़ है, x ticks use करना है, y ticks use करना है, and then if I run this, so if you remember, now earlier we had 2 to 10 in numbers and 1 to 5 in this number. All of these have been changed to A, B, C, D, E, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There are also some possibilities of having the advanced customization of your chart. So let's consider कि you have a plt.plot, and now you want to show an array to that. So again, maybe you can write any words. So I want to annotate my chart with hello world. I want to start that arrow from 2 and 4th position, and then maybe text at 3 and 6 position. So if I run this, then it will be more clear for you. So let's say this is that annotation which we have given, that plt.annotate, and I want to give one annotation here. X and y location of this should be 2 and 4. So let's say x is basically 2 and y is 4, and xy text का जो location है वो I want on 3 and 6. So 3 and 6 पे ये text आया है, and x and y पे ये arrow आया है, and then basically I want to give any color to this. Let's say I want to give it as a blue, so that also you can do and change. And these are some of the advanced things which basically in cases where you have to show the trends कि नीचे जा रहा है ये line या ऊपर जा रहा है, in those cases you can basically use this annotate to basically annotate the trends. So for example you have stock prices where you have to show कि stock यहाँ से नीचे गया है या ऊपर गया है. In those cases you can basically use these kind of annotations for your line charts. Then you can also have some of the patches or maybe shapes. So let's say I want to have a rectangle in this chart. तो simple सा चीज़ है. For we can make use of patches. So basically you can add a rectangle and we'll be kind of, so earlier we were using pyplot and but then Matplotlib also has patches, and from the patches you can export basically rectangle, circle or any other shape, whichever shape is needed. You can import that from there. And then यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं कि ये जो लाइन चार्ट है I want to basically highlight a portion of this chart. तो मैं इसको रन करता हूँ and there you will see I want a rectangle at the location 2 and 4. So if you see location 2 and 4 has been the starting point, and then 1 or 2 का इसका length and width है. Then black color, face color, all those things you can change. So let's say I want to change this to blue. तो we'll see कि दिस पर्टिकुलर द रेक्टेंगल हैज़ बिन फिल्ड इन. तो ये सब चीज़ जो है काफ़ी एडवांस में जब भी हम लोग यूज करते हैं या फिर कभी किसी को दिखाना हो कि दिस आर द थिंग्स विच यू हैव टू बेसिकली दिस आर द पोर्शन ऑफ योर चार्ट विच यू हैव टू बेसिकली फोकस ऑन. इन दोज केसेस हम लोग इन सारी चीज़ों का यूज कर सकते हैं. देन यू कैन ऑल्सो ऐड टेक्स्ट टू योर चार्ट. तो अगेन विल प्लॉट द सेम चार्ट एंड देन विल ऐड दिस इज द मैक्स वैल्यू, एंड द मैक्स वैल्यू का स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट होना चाहिए 2 and 4. तो ये हम लोग कहीं भी रख सकते हैं 2 and 8. When whichever place you want, you can keep this all this text in your chart. Alright, so now let's move on to the advanced plotting topic, where maybe let's consider कि I have to plot multiple data sets into the same chart. So one data set is 1 to 5, 2 to 10 is the second, and third one is 1 to 9. I want to plot all these data sets into the same chart. In one I want x and y one, and then second I want x and y two. So again you can also achieve that by simply making use of 2 times plt.plot and running this cell. And here you see automatically 2 charts have been kind of printed, and also 2 different labels and 2 different colors have been assigned to them. Then let's consider कि you have to basically, this is your one plot and you want to have a multiple subplots created into your charts. So in those cases you can simply make use of plt.subplot and how many subplots you want. So let's consider I want 2 by 2 ka subplot and the figure size I want 10 by 10, and this will be kind of we are instantiating into figure and axis. And now I want axis 0 0 यानी कि left top पे I want to plot x and y line chart, and 0 1 पे I want to plot x and y2 line chart, and then axis 1 and 0 पे I want to plot scattered, and then 1 and 1 पे I want to plot scattered, and here I want the color as red and here I want the color as blue. And now if I run this, here you see the magic. Instead of having 1 we are having 2 by 2 का basically charts available here. So 2 are line charts, 2 are scattered charts. इसका color red है and इसका color scattered का blue है. You can also basically make use and changes. Like let's say you want to have 3 by 3. So that also you can basically do and then run. And here you see कि third chart is empty because we have not kind of assigned any values to those axes. Alright, so now moving on to the most important question. Which is that chart which is the best suited for your data. And I'm sure this question would also be there in your mind कि कौन से चार्ट के साथ मुझे कब जाना चाहिए. तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैंने यहाँ पे ऑल 4 बेसिक चार्ट्स का मैंने दिया हुआ है कि विच केसेस यू हैव टू गो फॉर विच चार्ट. सो जब भी हमें टाइम के साथ किसी भी ट्रेंड को दिखाना होता है, इन दोज केसेस यू कैन ऑलवेज गो विद द लाइन प्लॉट्स. फॉर एग्जाम्पल टाइम के साथ स्टॉक प्राइस को दिखाना है, टाइम के साथ टेम्परेचर को दिखाना है, तो इन दोज केसेस लाइन प्लॉट हमेशा ही सूटेबल होता है बिकॉज वी कैन शो द ट्रेंड्स, वी कैन शो द प्रोग्रेशंस इन दैट. In cases where you have to show the correlation or relationship between the two continuous variable, तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल कि मुझे हाउस साइज और कॉस्ट के बीच में रिलेशनशिप फाइंड करना है, इन दोज केसेस स्कैटर्ड प्लॉट्स आर द बेस्ट सूटेड प्लॉट्स. बार प्लॉट्स बेसिकली जब भी हमें कैटेगरीज या ग्रुप को रिप्रेजेंट करना हो तो उन दोज केसेस में हम लोग को बार प्लॉट बेसिकली यूज़ करना चाहिए. फॉर एग्जांपल कि सेल्स फिगर दिखाना है, कौन से प्रोडक्ट का कितना काइंड ऑफ सेल्स हो रहा है, पॉपुलेशन का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन अमंग एज ग्रुप कितना है. सो उन दोज केसेस बार प्लॉट्स आर वेरी वेल सूटेड. देन हिस्टोग्राम कब दिखाना है. सो जैसा कि मैंने पहले बताया कि इट इज़ अ कंटिन्यूस वेरिएबल, बाय ग्रुपिंग द डेटा इनटू बिन्स। तो फॉर एग्जांपल कि मुझे डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ पॉल्यूशन को दिखाना है, सो इन दोज केसेस आई कैन यूज हिस्टोग्राम्स। डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ रेनफॉल्स को दिखाना है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ कोलेस्ट्रॉल लेवल्स का दिखाना है इन एनी एज ग्रुप, सो इन दोज केसेस हिस्टोग्राम्स आर द बेस्ट सुटेड प्लॉट्स। Now we'll see some of the more interactive and dashboards plots in Matplotlib। तो फर्स्ट सबसे पहले क्या करना है कि हमें लेट्स इंस्टॉल प्लॉटली एक और लाइब्रेरी है, यू कैन ऑल्सो इंस्टॉल दिस। तो यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या करेंगे कि एक इंटरेक्टिव प्लॉट हम लोग बनाएंगे। अगेन the type of that plot would be scattered and then we can basically interact with that plot। so if I run this cell, so यहाँ पे आप चेक करेंगे कि now we have this particular chart which is interactive। you can also see all the labels here, you can also make use of all this box select, and then you can basically interact with your chart using plotly। Similar to plotly we also have something called as dash। तो dash को भी हम लोग install कर सकते हैं by simply making use of pip install dash, and then by making use of this interactive dashboard you can have a similar dashboard how you had for plotly। we can also have one for kind of dashboard created for via dash। then you see again everything is present here। you also have multiple basically controls available where you can interact with your charts and basically play with your charts via dash library or via plotly library। so with this now we will move on to the next section which is working with pandas for Matplotlib। so if you remember initially that I had mentioned कि Matplotlib can be integrated with multiple popular libraries, one of them is pandas। तो integrate करने के लिए let's say we are creating a data frame with 3 different columns, name, age and score, and I want a chart between line chart between age and score array which is present here। तो सिंपल चीज़ है, df को हम लोग इनिशलाइज करते हैं pd डॉट डेटा फ्रेम एंड देन पास दिस डेटा डिक्शनरी हेयर, एंड देन टू प्लॉट अ चार्ट फ्रॉम अ डेटा फ्रेम यू कैन सिंपली मेक यूज ऑफ df डॉट प्लॉट x axis, y axis and kind here I want a line chart, and then from the plt I'll show the title as score versus age, and then I want to show this particular chart, and if I run this, there you see score versus age chart, line chart has been drawn via this particular data frame which is available here। now let's consider you want to customize your chart based on the different data attributes। so we'll do ki we'll add one more array here which is a gender, male female male female male, and I want the color for that chart ki if give me the red color if the gender is m, else give me the blue color in all the genders which are present in the given data frame, and then maybe again plot a scattered chart, give a title, x level you give as age, y level you give as score, and then legend you give as male and female। and now if I draw this, you see 2 different charts, scattered plots have been kind of given for us here। you'll see all these reds are male and all these blues are female, and automatically you can also you were also able to customize your chart based on the given conditions which you had assigned here। and now let's move on to the last section of this learning video जहाँ पे कि मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि how do you export and save your plots। तो let's create one plot first। so basically I want to create a sine wave। तो मैं कर रहा हूँ numpy dot linspace give me 0 to 10 evenly spaced 100 elements, यानी कि 100 एलिमेंट्स दो जो कि 0 से 10 के बीच में होगा और दोनों के बीच में डिफरेंस सेम होगा, यानी कि 2 एलिमेंट्स के बीच में डिफरेंट हमेशा सेम होगा। and then y axis में I want to have the sign values of all the values which are there in x array। तो if to plot we'll simply do a line plot, we'll give a title, x level में मैं दूंगा x and y level में I want to y, and if I run this, this is that sine wave which has been generated for us। so now let's save this sine wave in our local system। सेव करने के लिए सिंपल सा फंक्शन है plt.savefig, you can give any name here and .png you can give। in cases where you want to basically convert this from png into different formats, let's consider I want to have a pdf format or svg format, that also can be easily converted by just making use of this format functionality here। and if I run this, this will basically save 640 by a480 ka figure in your local system। Alright, so with this we are at the end of our video on Matplotlib for data scientist। so don't forget to like this video, share this video with your friends, please let us know your feedback to us कि आपको ये वीडियो कैसा लगा। in case you need any improvement in my video, please feel free to do so in my comment section। so thank you so much for watching this video, see you in the next video।